this is anyone's game. Whoever feels up for it, whoever's up for Swiss-style format will normally do well. Hence why you see F2 Techs doing well every single time. And let's just recap some people, Rich, throughout the competition now. If you have just joined us, this is round number 5 of Swiss-style format in the final round. You could say group play here in Singapore, and big names, big German names out the competition. Megabit out, Pro-Owned out, Stranger is out the competition as well. You've got Checham, the Spanish player, out, Spacer out as well, Rich. And there's only 4 players that are 4-0 right now. Obviously 2 players on each console. They're playing against each other right now. That's Houston against Pinner and Tex against SPQR Senna. Of course, the Brazilian there, Senna de Bone. Many will know him as he's taking a deflection. He's offside anyway for R9, as that's Timox with the first chance of the game.
Yeah, he talked about the players who are out of the competition. A few players who are through into the round of 16, definitely. You've got Stefano Pina, NIC City Chris, Resende, Tom Stokes, as you said, Tex there as well. And these 2-2 games are so vital right now. I'm sure we'll be providing you all the results from that 2-2 matchup when it has finalised. But our focus will be on Timox from Wolfsburg up against Tuga from Offset.
And of course, you can see there as well, 52nd in those Global Series rankings. This is a massive tournament for Timox. Whoever wins this game will jump up to a minimum of 275 Global Series ranking points. You go out now, you get 150, which is still, of course, the equivalent of 15 weekend leagues at 27 wins or more, but you don't really want to be playing 15 weekend leagues. You want to be getting yourself to a major event, placing well. And spoke to Timox earlier today, Richard, when he was actually 2-1. So he was 2-0 to kick things off, then lost the game. Said, I lost 5-4 in the end in the game I played. And I said to him, why does it seem like you're playing a little bit better in this tournament? Like, why because you had a very quiet start to the year. And you said, I've adapted better to this recent patch. I've played more. I've trained harder.
Yeah, the first tournament of the year that he played in was the Paris Games Week. He made a semi-final, and that's where these points have come from right now. That's why he's actually 52nd on the rankings at all. Apart from that, he's not really done much. I think he's qualified for the 6th FUT Champs Cup as well, has Timo. So he's had a little bit of a resurgence in the latter end of the year. If you're looking at his team, I got the opportunity to go and actually stand behind him while we were doing his team. Van der Sar in goal, Van Dijk playing centre half.
Some interesting picks for sure.
Yeah, it's very. He's setting his way. You were asking me who's better, Modric or Kante, and in the end, if Modric scores a late goal, it's because Richard Buckley told him to put him in.
There's an early chance now on the rebound. It was actually nearly the man from Madeira that popped up, a fellow Portuguese footballer in Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm just looking here down at those rankings, of course. 484 Global Series ranking points Timox is on, compared to the unbelievable start, or the unbelievable last 2 events that Tuga has had. 2,273 Global Series ranking points, which just goes to show not just one tournament, Richard, but 2 good tournaments can do for you.
Yeah, 100%. It's very much, if you perform over a couple of weeks, couple of months, you can turn your season right around. And he's pretty much guaranteed himself a grand final spot right now, just from a good FUT Champions Cup 3 and 4.
The best thing about him is, Richard, I believe he plays a 4-4-2 still. Here's Tuga now. This is Kylian Mbappe. Chips it all the way across. And Ronaldo was there. Maybe that'll be a different end result. The shot will still come in via Hullet, but into the hands of Van der Sar, I want to say. I'm sorry to say in David De Gea. I was nearly just saying it again right there, but that's a mistake at the back now. Van der Sar's off his line as well. Going to play inside to Ronaldo, and it's going to be offside anyway. But why do you think people are going for Van der Sar?
Well, I asked Timo, I said, why Van der Sar over David De Gea? He said for the simple fact he just seems more consistent. He's very good with his hands. De Gea will come out and often punch the ball. He'll flap at it a little bit, whereas Van der Sar, he seems to be a lot more consistent, a lot more just calm in the goal. Less mistakes from him. And you want that out of your goalkeeper. You want the less possible mistakes in such an important area of the pitch. Just look at the way that Timo and Tuga are both sat as well. Timo are the most relaxed players I've seen play FIFA.
A little bit like Dito, the way he plays, just sat back in his chair. Because the other side of that, you've just got the typical kind of gamer stance of what Tuga is doing there. But he's been working for him, and then Van der Sar needs to do a job here. If Mbappe's going to go through the hill to hill, this is Tuga now. It will go out for a corner. Van Dijk making that interception as well. Neymar. This is Tuga now. He's probably had the better opening chances.
We've seen a lot of Van Dijk in the past with the EPL club playoffs. We have the opportunity to cover a quarter of the entire club playoffs. And Van Dijk's been used in every single person's team.
Also in that competition, Premier League players only, such as the virtual Bundesliga. Obviously you have to play as your club there. I'm sure, of course, all the other leagues have their rules as well in place. Part of the Global Series, all offering different Global Series ranking points as well. Some 850 if you're a featured league, such as the MLS, E-Premier League, virtual Bundesliga, Eredivisie, the list goes on. And this is for a place in the round of 16, and it's going to be Tuga that gets us off underway. It has been coming.
Really nice finish as well. Played it into his feet. Off the crossbar. From Neymar, Team of the Year Neymar. It was. Just opened up his right boot. Instead, off the crossbar. And we talked about the momentum. We talked about the confidence of Timo, having come from 2-0, being one game away from going through, to now being one game away from going out.
Goal for the visitors.
That will be the breakthrough finally. 39 minutes into it. And it goes the way of the man that is a higher seed. He was in the grand final, the cross-console final, I should say, in Atlanta against Tex there, and just unfortunately couldn't get a look in. So that was Tex's second FUT Champions Cup of the year. We're looking to make it through this year. Obviously, he's currently unbeaten, 4-0 for that man. Just seems unstoppable in any event, any country. It really doesn't faze that man. Here comes Neymar now. This is Tuga now for a chance to go 2-0 up. He's the combination of skill moves there he's using to try and get away from that man, and Hullit's got no other alternative just to boot that out for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think you can see Seb actually stood behind Timo here from Stark.
I'm sure in his mind he'll be thinking back to all those titles, those tournaments as well. Wolfsburg, really that first team of getting esports going in the German scene. Duga's been moving the ball brilliantly. Really hasn't given much for Timox to work with at all. Marcelo into Cristiano Ronaldo in the most confined of spaces. There we go, half-time between the two, and then you can see their possession's quite fair, but look at the passing accuracy from Tuga, 92%.
Yeah, pretty even after the first half, in all honesty. It's very much a marathon, not a sprint at this stage. You've got to keep calm. Timo knows he'll create chances if he continues to play at this pace. When he's getting the ball, it's a very quick passing moves in around the box, trying to cut down Tuga. But Tuga's one of those players that he's very much...
It's the 4-4-2, mate.
It's an anomaly. It's something you're not used to playing against.
It's like Shells back in maybe last winter of... Before that, I would say FIFA 18, wasn't it? It was kind of around that time. He has dipped his host, you could say, into 4-4-2 a little bit this year, but not really too much. Kind of 4-2-3 when it's the standard way of playing for a number of pros. Just because you can get those two CDMs in there, you can move your strikers down to cams as well if you need to.
It's also with the back post cross as well. It's so effective. Getting your right cam and your left cam, just bombing them on with the first time finesse shots when they were the meta in the game. That was something that you had to do. You had to work that left cam and right cam area, play it into them, and play onto that first time finesse shot. Whereas now I feel like there's a little bit more variety in the formations that can be used and can be viable. 4-3-1-2, 4-3-2-1, 4-4-2, 4-2-2. And we've even seen Resende with a 3-5-2 throughout the tournament, which has worked extremely well for him.
Timox trying to defend, but you can see there, when he's trying to play forward, everyone is back in that 4-4-2 for Tuga. Everyone behind the ball, everyone in their own half. Just making two walls of four as well, Richard, which makes it so hard to break down. And it makes the strikers even have to go and chase the ball. For Tuga, Tuga's strikers are literally defending inside his own half.
I think Tuga's been watching a little bit of Sam Allardyce. 2 backs of 4, get the ball up top, play simple.
It's been so difficult to break down as he does come forward now. An array of skill moves every single time for the Portuguese player as well. As you said, from offset esports, and it played now to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's going to fall nicely. He's got very fortunate with that one. I think it actually fell to Rafael Varane. Number 5, I can just see there on the corner of my screen. Ball bounced nicely, and R9 will not be missing anytime soon from that distance.
He's so unlucky. The ball's bounced 2 different occasions against him there. That's just so unfortunate for Timo. He's played it short from the corner. He's gone to pass it into the box, and it's just ricocheted off for his man twice. Fallen to Timo inside the box. Fallen, I should say, to Tuga inside the box, and
you won't be missing from there anytime soon.
With that, extending his lead to 2-0, and you saw the reaction from Timo. He knows that he's been hard done by there. He's got to keep his head though right now. He can't let this game get away from him. He can't let the occasion get the better of him.
Especially in an elimination game as well. We must repeat, if you have just joined, if you're watching around the world, this is round 5 of Swiss-style format. So many games, elimination games being played and games for seeding purposes being played. So obviously only 2 players can go 5-0, one on PlayStation, one on Xbox. Of course, in those games, you've got Senna up against F2 Tex and Pinner against Houston. Houston, the top goal scorer in the competition so far, 31 goals registered.
I chatted to Houston yesterday when we came to do a little rehearsal. And I said, if you're feeling confident, if I can defend, I can do really well, but I can't defend.
It seems as though scoring goals doesn't seem to be the problem for him.
Yeah, it seems as though in this Swiss style where we can play with a little bit less pressure before the tournament ramps up a little bit, he usually always does well in Swiss, does Houston. And then as the tournament gets more pressurised,
like
people start playing more defensive.
Yeah, he struggles a bit around there, doesn't he?
Also, other people adjust their play style. When you get into a quarter-final, when you're on the stage playing against each other, you tend to just go back into your shell a little bit. You tend to play more defensive. That's why you don't really see high-scoring finals.
Look at this run now on the far-hand side from Neymar. This is Tuga now. The heel tilt play inside, just tries to fake that pass and actually play to Cristiano Ronaldo. And it does go for a corner there. Now we can see actually the changes, unfortunately, of not Tim Ox, but we can see the changes of Tuga. And he's actually got Adair on the bench. Got some legends on there. Pandev is on there as well. And obviously Adair, the man that won the Euros for Portugal just a few years back. I doubt they'll be involved, but obviously there is just a
4-1-2-1-2 from Timo. He's gone quite direct right now. He's playing that narrow 4-1-2-1-2, so I expect to see a lot going down the centre of the pitch. Not a lot out wide for the German in the last 18 minutes.
Just watch what he's going to control here. He just does teamwork to the other side, try to control Van Dijk, but the ball's just gone on the far edge of the box, and he's made it look so simple, Tugaraz. There's us watching the front post. He's just simplified it completely, played it into the box to a fresh Messi, and on that left foot of dreams, he makes it 3-0.
Very similar to the corner we saw from Tex earlier, where he played onto the edge of the box, and then Mbappe was the man to finish from the edge of the box on that occasion. This time around, it is Messi firing a green shot, timed finish into the left corner and extends his lead 2-3. Does Tuga. Last time we saw him, it was a PS4 console final, and the opportunity potentially to go out of the tournament in this round 5 Swiss style, but he's excelled right now. He's took the opportunity in both hands to play one more game to save his tournament, and look at that 4-4-2 right there.
He's made the run inside if he wants to use, and this is going to be Pele. Obviously that prime icon moment. Here we go, Neymar, keeper's move. That's an open goal. And a little finger wag as well from Tuga. He knows that's a classy finish.
The only reason that chance has actually ever been created is because he's playing the 4-4-2. Pele was the right winger. He had so much room down that side then to enable him to switch the ball and then play across the box. And Neymar, just a little bit of goalkeeper movement from Timo, expecting the shot early. And
the important thing for me right now is, Timo, yes, you might be 4-0 down, but you can't concede one or two more. You can't concede another one there, but that's going to be 4-0 it shouldn't. At the moment, it looks like this game is slipping away from Timox.
Yeah, we are going to head on over to the Xbox side of things. Alexander from the United States up against Gorilla from Great Britain. This is also a 2-2 elimination match, and let's see how this game is getting on. It's Alexander with a 1-goal lead.
And it's on the attack now. It's going to fall to Cristiano Ronaldo. Vieira off the post on the rebound. Yeah, we go. Luckily, we arrived to it at the right time. A very fortunate bounce there and a deflection. Falls to R9. Again, he's not really going to be missing from there at all.
Just bounced the back of Van der Sar's head.
I do feel a bit sorry for Van der Sar. He's been amongst a few ricochets. It's going to be in the kit of Slovenia for Gorilla. I don't know if he's just a fan of that one, but that's 1-1 in this game. I think we're nearly at half-time in leg number 1. This, again, elimination football live from Singapore. Round 5 of Swiss-style format here. Both players 2-2, and obviously this is the 2017 world champion in Gorilla involved in this elimination match. Up against, obviously, Roma Alexander.
Both players grand finalists last year in 2018. They're hoping to return to the grand finals again this year.
Of course, Alexander was under another team back then. Sports Kansas City, I believe he was under at the time in that final. Of course, there's some other scores on the other side of your screen there. So I believe those are the games that have just been concluded already. And obviously we know that big names have left the competition, including the likes of Megabit, Pro-Ohms out the competition, the German players there, Chetchum's out as well, a Spaniard, a Spacer from the UK. So he had a brief spell at XL with the Gfinity Elite Series there, but he goes out the competition as well. And into the second half we go. Still in that first leg, of course.
One player also has gone through. No one really expected him to go through. Nate Jazz from Australia. We had a number of Australian players here for this event, given that it was in Singapore. I believe that region, that rest of the world region, the Oceania region, got actually more spots than they usually would for an event of this size.
It was an opportunity, wasn't it? It was an opportunity to again, to show exactly what that rest of the world scene's all about.
He's capitalised on that opportunity.
Fortunately, it wasn't the same story for his teammate in Nate Goat. He went out the competition, but I'm sure N8 Esports will be very proud of the performance that the Jazz has put in. He's been an upcoming player, seen him a lot on Twitter, online, of him competing in events, doing well on Weekend League, and just the progression of that player there. He only lost as well. I think he lost 6-4 to Tex in a two-legged game between the two. A finesse from distance, just wide of the goal. There's a chance for Gorilla to knock on the door. It will fall back to Gorilla once again, though. To Ronaldo, to Neymar. And that goal just settled a few nerves for Gorilla. He knows it's an elimination game, and then once again, talk about those Global Series points. You win this, you jump up.
Yeah, we talked about mindsets and mentality coming into this game. I think both of these players coming in with quite a negative mindset. They've not performed to the level that they expect, that they personally... It's all about personal expectations.
You told me as well today, Richard, sorry to interrupt, is that this is the game you want to win. You're going to round of 16. As a player like Gorilla or Alexander, or the previous game we were watching, Tuga's, Timox's, you're feeling good going to round of 16. You've just won an elimination game. You're going to be on a bit of a buzz. And
there'll be players coming off the back of a loss going into that game. People have finished 4-1. There'll be a player there, and then there'll be people who also finished 3-2 coming off the back of that 5th round of fixtures. So I think you've got a decent shout. If you do win this game, you're going in, us having already played the biggest game thus far. Every game there on out is a knockout game. I always think back to Nicholas Razek. He's the king of the 0-2 to the late run in the tournament.
The ball to the back post now for Hullet, but it's Rio Ferdinand that gets rid of that one, and he's a start, of course, in the team for Gorilla as well. Obviously plays for Text as Rio Ferdinand. Both those players, both UK players, I should say, favouring the Englishman at centre half, the icon. Seems to be keeping his place for a reason. Alexander coming forward now with Eusebio. Went into a fake shot. Can he play inside? No, he can't. He tried again, but funny enough, who's there again? Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, I've got him at home as well, Rio Ferdinand, the prime Rio, and he's just, for me,
there's a drag back into
probably the most consistent centre-back on the game. I will go out on a limb and say. He's always in the right place at the right time. He's pacey, he's strong, he can head the ball, he can jump, and he's aggressive in his tackling.
I don't know what's happened here at the back. There's been a bit of a confusion. It's going to go all the way across.
Ramos. What a leap from Sergio Ramos.
Well, it had to be a good one. There was a mistake at the back from Gorilla, and Alexander Lee capitalised on it. And there we go. It's another attack now. The American picked up a move, as we said, to AS Roma / Fnatic a few months ago now, to join the roster of the Zimmers, the Ranas, the Dammies, and it goes. And I tell you what, he's worked that well. El Tornado all the way across. It's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo to step up and score.
Yeah, how the ball's been turned over, quite unfortunate for Gorilla. think it was Vieira took a bad touch in the middle of the pitch. Hullet won it back. But then as soon as Hullet came forward with the ball, he's knocked it out wide. Little El Tornado, first time cross, and that's what you can expect if you cross it into that sort of area where you've got the likes of Mbappe, you've got the likes of Ronaldo attacking the ball. They're going to win it. It's as simple as that.
Goes back to the drawing board now for Gorilla, and as you can see there, just to the left of their names, obviously 50th in those Global Series rankings is Alexander. He needs a big performance here in Singapore, and on the other side of that, you've got Gorilla 18th.
He's another player on that cusp, on the cusp of the top 16. If he goes well in this tournament, gets a quarter-final, gets a semi-final, he's probably looking towards that top 16 pretty much locked in. He has just switched formation yet again.
The guys were saying, though, on the couch, so you were on there earlier as well, Richard, is that for Gorilla's standards, he wants to be in the top 3. He doesn't want to be 18th, does he? But it's one of those things. You can't keep thinking about the past, and of course you've had great success in the past. You have to try and just get yourself going again this year. 18th at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, as harsh as it sounds, a 2017 World Championship isn't going to get you Global Series ranking points. You have to perform right now in the current state of the game. That's where you have to perform.
Like a player like, for example, after this attack we'll talk about it in a second, but like a player like Aga, you know, obviously he won it in 2014, and still now he wants to get up there again, you know, in the top 10s and in the top 20s, which he is doing already. But it's a different story for that man from Denmark. Had a fantastic start to the season, and we want to continue that. Obviously, he's got E-Superliga to play in as well, FC Copenhagen. Marcuso is a very good friend there.
Never really looked any danger there, that chance. A pretty straightforward shot from Gorilla on the edge of the box. It's lovely switch play over to Marcelo. Marcelo's just one of those left-backs that, even though he's not great, he's good defensively. He's not outstanding.
He's a good left-back.
If you're wanting a good defensive left-back, you're probably looking at Alexandro. But just what he offers you going forward, the pace, the shooting, the 5-star skills from a fullback. You know, to El Tornado, where you left back and then put a cross into the box, he's so underrated.
Messi now. Can he play that ball? N'Golo Kante that's making it instead. Pele with a direct shot. It will be Van der Sar that has to pull out a massive left hand there. It's going to go out for the corner. Front post flick on with Hullet off the bar with the rebound. It's just about in. You can see the surprise on Gorilla's face there. He didn't think it went in. You can see that. Hits the post. Messi dived and headers it. Just about trickles it in the end. I don't even know how Messi hasn't got that on target originally.
Yeah, I think that's actually going down as an own goal. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, it's gone down as a Messi goal. It looked like it was going wide to me.
It was.
Until Van der
There
Sar.
was no touch to a player. I honestly think that was going to hit the post or go wide. I have no idea why he's not got that on target at all there. That team of the year Messi FUT item. Now this game is all square once again as we head into the second leg very shortly. Both players need to win this game, of course. If one person loses, out the competition. This is round 5 of Swiss-style format. And we'll be playing the round of 16 after this as well. Then that will conclude day number 1 here in Singapore. The 5th FUT Champions Cup, the FUT Champions Cup of March. And if anything, Gorilla just wants to get into this second leg. I've got a feeling. At 2-2, pretty much a clean slate going into the second game.
Might be even waiting for the last chance of the game, potentially. Could Gorilla comes forward now with Ruud Hullet as soon as that 90th minute.
There we go, there's Messi through if he wants to play him.
Added time has gone up.
If he can get himself a goal now, this would be a bit of an advantage for him. Added time of 2 minutes, everything now, nothing can go back. Got to be positive in the way he plays. He's going to fall to Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's done so well to turn away from his man. He faked to go left, went back on the right side. It's gone through the keeper's legs, and now he has a slight advantage heading into game number 2.
He's done fantastically well to get into that position. You're going to see a little bit of close control from Ronaldo. He goes left, and then Alexander will be so disappointed. He's moved Van der Sar to the exact right position that he needs to be in to save that ball. He's read the shot from Gorilla, and it's just gone through Van der Sar. We talk about Van der Sar being this consistent goalkeeper, but right there you're asking questions as it's potentially cost him that lead in the first leg.
Of course, that is going to be the first game concluded. That 3-2. Of course, got lots of elimination football taking place at the moment. Plus some games for seeding. Of course, there's only 4 players that are still unbeaten in the competition at the moment. Of course, I think it was Senna up against F2 Tech. Both players 4-0, unbeaten. Obviously, one of them will be, of course, beaten after that game has been played. On the other side of that, you've got Houston against PSV, Stefano Pina, in which is going to be a great game there. But we'll be waiting, obviously, to jump into this second leg very soon. But Gorilla's got the slight advantage, won that game 3-2, and he was over the moon with that bit of play at the end. You mentioned, Richard, a lovely bit of just close control driven, just to get away from his man, open up a yard, and for lucky enough for him, it went through the goalkeeper's legs. Yeah,
he played it. The shot and the build-up to the shot were really good. It was just that he moved the goalkeeper, did Alexander, and yet still the ball went through him, unfortunately, as this first leg of fixtures is wrapping up very shortly indeed. You can see Enzo there giving a little bit of advice to Alexander.
And even this is the time when you need a coach there or someone just to keep you calm, cool, collected. Gorilla doesn't need a coach. Of course, back in 2017 when he won that World Championship, it was good friend, obviously, Sean Allen at the time that was coached him then.
Looks like there's another coach in behind him there as well. FUT's manager, FUT's Dan, in behind his player Marco.
As you can see, J.R.A. Lion just through as well through that gap. But Richard, of course, as we said, that's concluded leg number 1 of round 5 of Swiss style point. Of course, hope you guys are still enjoying the stream. We've still got 2 more days of action as well, plus a round of 16 today. So, if anything, for me, I really enjoy day number 1 because day number 1 is where the stories are made. Because there's big players leave the competition, there's big names that go through as expected, and then you get the maybe 5 to 10 handful of players that have gone through, like a Jazz, like an innate Jazz.
It's that little bit of unexpected. You don't know what you're going to get. I feel like on day 2 and day 3, it almost sets it up that you know you're going to get knockout football, you're going to get tight games, you're going to get shocks, penalty shootouts. On day 1, sort of a mixed bag. How are people going to deal with the time difference? How are people going to deal with the jet lag? How are people going to deal with being in Singapore in general? Who's going to adjust better to this land setting? And it astounds me every time that the likes of Tex, that the likes of Stefano Pina, wherever they are in the world, you give them a copy of FIFA, you give them a competition, chances are they're going to win it.
Here we go then, second leg between these two. Gorilla from left to right in that Arsenal strip. Of course, in that Roma strip, as expected, from right to left, it will be Alexander, trailing 3-2 at the moment. It needs an unbelievable leg of FIFA to turn this one round. He's pulled out a save from Van der Sar within the first 2 minutes of it. If anything, that's a warning sign. The Gorilla's up for this one.
I want to see how Alexander can get at Gorilla. It seemed as though in that last game, it was fairly one-sided since we joined the game, at least, on the 43rd minute. Alexander just looks a little bit, I wouldn't say lost, but I'd say he's lacking creativity in the final third right now.
This is when Gorilla can just start to come forward now and be so fluent. You saw the idea he wanted to place to the back post there, but which didn't work out for him. It was Mbappe that was making the run. Fortunately, that just went straight to the path of one of his defenders, and Alexander will be over the moon with that. But points are important now for Alexander, really important for him. 50th seed, needs points. He will get some points, obviously, from just going out, but you win this game, you guarantee yourself an extra 125 on top of that, which could be the difference between getting yourself a playoff spot. If he goes and does that, you're looking at maybe a potential just sneaking in maybe to the top 30 if he's lucky.
Yeah, it sets you up perfectly for the rest of the year.
Of course, Ramos at right back as well. Seems to be a familiar way for a number of pros still. Neymar into Vieira now. Could there be a chance on the finesse? He will get it. Just like that. He's straight back in it.
Yeah. Nice little bit of play on the edge of the box. One-touch pass into the prime icon, Eusebio.
Look at zigzag pattern of play that was.
Not really talked about Eusebio much throughout this tournament. I believe he got his special item for his Golden Boot winning campaign in the 1966 World Cup. 1966, I should say, World Cup. 96 agility, 90 heading, 90 jumping, 99 finishing. He's got 96 pace and 99 shooting on his base card. Has Eusebio.
How is that gone in? The free kick just dinks short to R9. That must be something the Gorilla's been trying at home. Whether it's rivals or in a few practice games. I think we're just looking at some stats of Eusebio there, Richard, but have a look at this on the replay if we're actually going to see it. It's Neymar with the free kick. He literally just dinks into the path of R9. And it's just looped around Van der Sar.
Yeah, that free kick is strong. It's strong in the game. You dink it into the player just on the edge of the box, sort of like near the penalty spot. Usually it'll be your striker or it'll be your centre-back. Whoever it is playing in that position will be in that role. All you need to do is really make contact in it. It's going to loop over the goalkeeper unless they can win the header and force a corner or clear the ball. It's a good chance.
Now Gorilla finds himself back in the driving seat. 4 goals to 3 up. Of course, want to hear from you guys at home. Get involved in the conversation on Twitter. Of course, with the 2 hashtags you can see down below, the hashtag PGL FIFA, hashtag FUT Champions Cup. Gorilla's turn to come forward now. I think he's just offside there. We're going to go into a pause as well for Gorilla. 20 minutes into this one, but you know, you mentioned about the free kick there. We've been pointing out quite a little bit over a few of the EPL events we've been doing as well, where there's been, for example, similar situations like free kicks from that distance where Van Dijk's just been in the box and everyone's just been trying to loop it into Van Dijk, and it's an effective way of trying to make the most of a free kick compared to maybe taking a direct shot from like 36 yards plus out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
it really is. Be able to have that in your locker, to have sort of a plan B, a plan C from a set piece, from a corner, from a free kick, whatever it may be, is extremely useful. We've seen short corners, we've seen corners to the edge of the box. We've seen front post whipped corners. In terms of the free kicks, I feel like it's a lot more creative. Whether some people or most FIFA pros don't really get creative with it. They'll play short and they'll let a man run over it and then they'll pass it, or they'll try and look for a shot.
That's a lovely threaded through ball there. Ronaldo to Ronaldo. It's the R9 a starter for Gorilla. Fake shot onto the play to the back post for Neymar. We've got the assist on that free kick, in fact, just a few minutes ago. A little dink into R9. It's been interesting to see how these kind of prime icon moment for items have really affected the play today. And the main question of that is just the usual players involved. The Hullits, the Vieiras. It's just been just a little upgrade for a number of those players. Of course, we've seen some players use a Cruyff, Fusey Eusebio as a starter, mainly as a sub, to be honest. Hence why we've only just really been speaking about him a minute ago. But it's still a case of everyone just trying to use what they know. And Gorilla still a fan of R9. That's the second he scored in this one as well. Edge of the box, just a simple finesse. It was timed green, and a green normally means it's on target or at least hitting the back of the net.
He seemed to just create that little bit of room on the edge of the box for R9. No matter how many slide tackles you put in the way, he's hitting the side netting.
You just saw there, Rafael Varane kind of just dived in for a tackle, dropped down slightly now, and this is where Gorilla can build some sort of lead on this one. As the offside trap is spammed the other way. An aggregate score of 5 goals to 3. Gorilla leads currently this one. This is for elimination at the competition. If you lose this one, you win. You go through to round of 16, which is playing straight after this round. Of course, we go down from 32 to 16, down to the last 8 on each console. Eusebio now, this is the chance he wanted, then he played it through to Ruud Gullit, and unfortunately it's just going to go straight into the hands of David De Gea, and a chance again for Gorilla to rebuild.
I'll tell you what, Gorilla's goal kicks, he always seems to have got something that he wants to do.
Neymar's turn to go forward now, cuts inside!
What a save that is. He thought it had gone in, did Gorilla. That's simply just come from a goal kick as well. A long punt up the field to let Ronaldo try and win something in the air. And he's had a really good opportunity just simply from a long goal kick.
Minutes away from half-time in this first leg of the second game. Of course, we'll give you an update on those other elimination games. It'll be interesting to see if Tuga's just continued to run away with it. He was, I think, 4-0 up when we left him. Up against Timox, which was one-way traffic to say the least.
Yeah,
from the Portuguese player. It was just
we're getting a little bit ugly, weren't it? We're getting a little bit ugly for Timox.
I think we left the game when we needed to. Just
too good.
More goals started going in.
Everything that he touched seemed to really turn into gold in that game. And that's what you want in your round of 5 fixture, arguably your toughest fixture of the Swiss style format. You want an easy game if you can get it. You want an early lead where you can put yourself at ease.
And in these 2 goals was Alexander. It's definitely possible for the 2018 FEWC finalist. Played really well in London as well. Was so close to getting himself out of the groups, I believe.
It's 2 goals, but it's also not conceding. And if you're playing against Gorilla, you can guarantee pretty much that you're going to concede every game, given how many plays he pushes forward for certain attacks, and also his defending being not the best that we've seen from him throughout his FIFA tenure.
The referee has indicated
Right, all the way over to Marcelo.
Of 3 minutes.
Added time of 3 minutes. Mbappe to Neymar. Will there be one more attack for Alexander before we hit into the half-time interval? And we can actually see a change from him. Because we can only see Gorilla's changes, though. Of course, we'll try and give you an update on what exactly is being done. Neymar, edge of the box, went for a scoop turn, maybe into a finesse. And we're going to be into half-time. And Gorilla is 45 in-game minutes away from sending himself into the round of 16.
I tell you what, it's not been the most vintage performance from Gorilla. It's not been the most exciting performances from Gorilla throughout this tournament, but what's he done when the pressure's been on? He's got the job done. It's as simple as that. You can't ask any more from him, as we've seen 99 Modric coming on as a left centre mid. A little formation change as well from the Englishman.
On the other side of that, of course, we're waiting for Alexander to get back in the game. You can just see by his facial expression, maybe looking at something or wanting to change something. He needs 2 goals at least to send us to extra time. And here we go then. 45 in-game minutes away from finding out who will be leaving us here in Singapore alongside the list of all the players that have already left us here. Begovic's gone, obviously the German that everyone seems to know. Pro Owns is out. Stylo's gone.
Checham, Spacey, the Stranger, all being eliminated from the competition before we even got to the final round of competition in the Swiss style.
Of course, some of those players as well going 0 and 3. Mbappe now, this is Alexander. Just a simple finish that was into the hands of De Gea. It wasn't really a finesse or anything special about that one. He knows he can score, though. He's already scored 3 goals across these 2 legs. It's going to feel natural for him to attack, to pull players out of position. However, there will be risks that will follow that. The one man you don't want to make a mistake against is Gorilla. Mbappe, let's just chip all the way to the back post for Modric. I don't know how. I think Varane actually got something on that as well to kind of hook it out the air. It's a chance now. Alexander to build back into this game. Expect to see another change from him as well. 65th minute, if it's still at 2-0, and he wants to change something up completely. And oh, close as well. Be careful there. Good over Rafael Varane. Could have maybe given away a penalty if he dived in there. Neymar stayed on his feet, though.
Look, that just in the middle of the pitch there. Potential for Alexander. That's where the space is. Gorilla's very frantic in the way that he defends. He's squeezing high up the pitch. And just look at that red and white wall behind the ball right now. Men behind the ball.
There's the ball. There's the chance. Well done, Rio Ferdinand.
So you can't really play in behind it when you've got that many men going in the defensive third for you. So you're expecting it to come just on the edge of the box. That's where the space is for Alexander. However, if there's one person who's going to try and see out a game, who's going to kill off a game with his experience that he's got, it is Gorilla. It's a fascinating last 30 minutes in this game.
I think experience is a massive word for sure, and it falls down to someone that's already won a world championship. Picked up an outstanding amount of money alongside that as well. You know, you go back to the years of the G20 Player Legends where this man was just taking every single event, winning every single event. Here's Alexander. Oh, I just don't know if he needed the extra fake shot there. It still fell back to him though, and Mbappe got a little bit forward with that. It's fallen back to him, but take it by all means.
So how that chance actually come about is very, very fortunate because he didn't need to do the extra fake shot. And then as Gorilla, I'm not sure he actually knew he had the ball. With Varane, he's tried to come out of the back. It's just been pickpocketed, simple as that. And Mbappe picks it up. Simple finish for him. And as I said, this is going to be a fascinating final 25 minutes. Because for me, Gorilla's not a possession-based player. He has to go forward still.
For me,
when he sits off and plays defensive, that's when he gets opened up
for him. He's always been a player that it's always been outscore.
Yeah,
always outscore.
I mean, we saw it against Tex in Bucharest, the FUT Champions Cup, when he went down. When he lost the game in the end, the only reason he lost that game is because he tried playing possession, and Tex just implemented his game style on him.
You can tell that goal's giving so much confidence to Alexander now. Into Mbappe, nearly actually scored as well. A yellow time finesse it was. Just a yellow time shot, to be honest, back to goal. And there we go, there's a pause now that we can see how Gorilla's going to shape up, mate. Maybe he's just going to change the formation here, or and there we go, we're going to see that formation change from him as well. But interesting to see what actual fresh players he does bring on for the last, 20 in-game minutes of this game. And Mbappe comes on.
Yes, so it looks like he thought about bringing Mbappe off, then put Mbappe back on. The one change that he has made is Ronaldinho, prime Ronaldinho coming on as a left cam. And he's actually brought prime George Best on, the prime icon moment George Best, in at central cam. He's actually gone into a 4-1-2-1-2 as well, I believe. It's either 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-3-1-2. I didn't actually get to see.
It was a 4-3-1-2 before, so I don't know if he's changed again, but that was what he offered us before. But he did offer a 4-2-3-1 as well at one point. But as I said, into the last 20 minutes. If I haven't told you already, it's round 5 of Swiss style. This is an elimination game. Both these players won 2, lost 2. Of course, 3 is the magic number. You win 3, you go through. You lose 3, you go home.
He's just been absolutely clattered there as Gorilla. Another switcher play over to Sergio Ramos. That's a nice ball.
I think you hit the nail on the head, though, Rich, when you said, like, Gorilla, his idea would just be to score another goal instead of keeping possession and trying to see out the game that way.
Look for that switcher play from Alexander. It looks like it could be potentially on this far side. There it is, Sergio Ramos bombing on.
As well, bombing on forward, in it goes. This is your chance of Ronaldo. Maybe just a second too long with that. In comes the corner, played short to Marcelo. Now this is your time to get the ball over, whether it's to the front post or as far as the edge of the box.
Good tackle. Didn't get baited into anything. Didn't get drawn into any sort of jumping into a tackle there with B and giving away a penalty. Just kept his calm and took the ball away from him when he needed to.
Look at that. He just pulled out 4 players on that far-hand side from Gorilla. He knows that Alexander's going to be offensive. He needs to press the ball, needs to get that ball back because time is running out for him. 10 minutes left. Still a goal behind, will score, and it will take us to extra time unless Hullet could pull the back of the net with that one.
In the final 10 minutes, he's using the Arsenal kit. He needs to channel his inner task right now. Just hold this game out.
And hit everything green. There will be another chance, though, for Alexander, I'm sure. But who will be the player that chance does fall to? Ronaldo had a chance, but he had a little bit too long on the ball. Rafael Varane made the original block. Scores this, we go to extra time. Overlapping run from Marcelo on the far-hand side. Doesn't want to use him and instead just happy just to keep the ball between the 3 in the midfield there. To Hullet, back to goal.
What I say, David De Gea. That could have been potentially the chance. I always say you get one more chance, and that could have been it right there. If it wasn't for David De Gea.
Just keep the ball now, Grillo, in his head. Take it forward. Added time to come any second. Pause has been cued as well, just if anything to shore things up. However, giving away the ball, so silly there.
Yeah, Scoop turned actually out of play there as Gorilla. Obviously, he's never meant to do that.
That means that the ball's going to fall back into the hands of Alexander from a goal kick.
Gorilla's one of the only players that will actually do this as well. When he's losing, he'll go 3 at the back. He'll change his formation, he'll change his tactics. When he's winning, he's happy to go 5 at the back to see out a game. He's got 4 minutes.
Just make a wall of defenders.
Marcelo,
come at me.
Ramos, Varane, Ferdinand. And Patrick Vieira in that back 5. You see, players in the box.
He used all his subs because he got a fresh centre-half, maybe to...
I mean, Vieira can do a job at centre-back. It's simple as that. With some of the stats that he's got. 97 stand tackle, 90 slide tackle, 96 aggression from the former Arsenal captain.
Just make sure he doesn't give away a penalty with that aggression.
It's going to be a soak it up for Gorilla in the final 3 minutes. Will he be going through when he's not played his best, in all honesty? Far from his best.
course, doesn't need us to tell him that. He's a man that thrives off those expectations of being one of the best in the world. Ball's fallen back to him now. It'll probably be added time of 2 minutes, 3 minutes if it's Alexander's in luck. Unfortunately not, it's going to be added time of 2 minutes. He's going to keep the ball now and try and see out this game as he's seconds away from booking his place in the round of 16. Unfortunately,
that's a nice
it'll be
ball.
home time for Alexander as he goes at the competition 2-3. I think we're all done here, Richard. Added time is complete. And the referee just waiting for that whistle now. It will be Griller going through to the round of 16. And he left it to the last hurdle, honestly, to go through 3-2 in games. And you know what? That's experience.
Yeah, in the end, experience has brought him through. He don't need us to tell him. He's not played his best today, but that is the form of a champion. You don't play your best, and you can still go through. You still grind out results, and it's exactly what he did. Commiserations to Alexander, who will go out of the tournament.
He made it a great
2
game
and
as well.
3.
So close as well. We had a few chances in there. I'm sure Enzo, they'll go away. They'll have a look tonight or over the next few weeks of how we can improve upon that one. And it's one of them, you know, elimination football. You've got the heightened expectation of when you play in a